Okay, I wanted to show you how to access the Anatomy and Physiology Revealed resources for you so you can look at some slides. Lab exercises 8 through 11 are really looking at histology. The term histology means microanatomy, so you're looking at the anatomy at a microscopic level under the microscope. So you don't have access to any of these slides that are mentioned in the materials needed sections in your lab notebook, so you'll have to have an alternate source, and this is your alternate source. Again, if you do want to come by Goshen College, you're welcome to do that too. I'm here to assist you if you need that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your McGraw-Hill Connect account and go to this little link that says Cadaver Dissection Tool, which brings up Anatomy and Physiology Revealed, and you're going to launch the APR, which is Anatomy and Physiology Revealed. So this will open up, and we're going to be interested in some particular modules. So you go up here and you can select a module. The modules we're going to be talking about today are tissues and the integumentary system, and there may also be tissues and the integumentary system, skeletal, muscular, and nervous tissues are also here. But let's just take a look at tissues. I think that's going to be our main one. So if you click on tissues, you can see it brings up some pretty pictures here of some histology or microanatomy. So you're looking at pictures of organs and what they would look like under the microscope. So you've clicked on tissues, and now there's several sort of sub areas here. There's animations, histology, and then a quiz. I would just go right to histology, and then you can select your topic. These are the topics that we're looking at here in these labs. And so you'll just have to read through the lab and then sort of try to find the picture that you're interested in. So for example, this is an example of simple squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium looks like this. It's very, very, it's composed of very, very thin, flattened cells, and it's simple, so it's a single layer. Okay, so that's an example of a simple squamous epithelium. What about another type? What about a cuboidal epithelium? Well, here's an example of a simple cuboidal epithelium. So you can see there's cells that look like this. They're little cubes, right, or little squares. And what's interesting is you can actually highlight the different regions. So if you want to know what's the nucleus of a cuboidal epithelial cell, you can click here, and it'll show you the nucleus, and it'll give you some information about them. Where are they found? Well, they're central, right in the middle of the cell. What's their function? What is a basic description? Sometimes also it talks about where these things are found, like what parts of the body they're found in. So that's interesting. Another thing you can look for is the other types here. So you can actually change the magnification here too. Sometimes you can go to higher magnifications or lower magnifications. Okay, here's an example of adipose connective tissue. This is fat. These are fat cells here. So that's another possibility. Okay, so that's tissues. There's also the integumentary system. So the integumentary system refers to skin. So you can look at the histology of skin here. Thick skin, thin skin, a hair follicle, for example. You can look at sweat glands and other things. So again, this is really fantastic, right? Because it outlines, what is the hair matrix? What is the internal root sheath, etc. So that's integumentary. Here's some muscles. And this is great, right? It's going to show us all these different muscle types. So what does skeletal muscle look like? What does smooth muscle look like? What does cardiac muscle look like? It's very excellent software, right? So this is a great example of skeletal muscle. It's long, striated, multinucleated. Okay, so that's Anatomy and Physiology Revealed. I just encourage you to work through that because these are really, really excellent images. You wouldn't see anything close to this looking into the microscope yourself. So these are really beautiful and should be easy for you to study and to memorize the sort of differences.